They say that if something scares you, you should approach it head on. You should confront it. And I've experimented with a lot of guitar pedals in the past few years, especially, and none of them have scared me the way the Red Panda Raster 2 scares me. At its face, it's a digital delay pedal with modulation, pitch modulation specifically, pitch and frequency, and geez, there's so much going on. It is as much synthesizer as it is delay pedal. And I am intimidated, I'm scared, I've tried filming this a few times already. Let's go into it together and see what cool sounds we can get from it and approach those fears head on. Welcome to Get Offset. My name is Emily. I've got my 1965 Music Master 2 and I'm playing through the Strymon Iridium because the Raster 2 has stereo via TRS out, and that's really cool. The Strymon Iridium has stereo via TRS in, so that's what I went with, and here is what my clean tone sounds like. Missed a note there. I'm going to turn the modulation back down, get everything to center, and let's get started. I have blend at 50%, so this goes full dry to full wet, and it has delay times as long as 1600 milliseconds in the box itself, and if you use MIDI, that goes up to 3200. So that's quite a range. Let's hear what it sounds like. So you can hear that I have this set to a ping-pongy sound. There are actually a few different options for that, but I wanted to get into the stereo right away. So I'm going to go back and take it out of stereo. This should be 2 parallel delay lines. So obviously 1600 milliseconds, that's a lot of delay. So if you want to dial in something more specific, you can either use the tap control there, or you can adjust the maximum delay time via this toggle here. So when the maximum is 400 and it's set at noon, that's about a 200 milliseconds. Going back to that 800 maximum, that's the middle setting. And the 1600 milliseconds. So what you probably heard there was turning the time knob. With a lot of delay pedals, if you turn the delay time, and that's what that knob was, sorry I didn't go through everything, there's 6 knobs, they all have alternative functions. There's 5 toggles and 2 foot switches. So this is not going to be a 90-minute demo. I'm just going to try to cover some experimentation, some fun. I hope you enjoy this journey I'm taking you on. So, but let's get back to that. Often if you turn a delay knob, you get a woo sound or woo sound, and that is the scientific term for it. But this one, it's more of a stepped thing, and it's the first thing I really felt in love with on this pedal. So. It seems like it's taking that initial delay stutter and then turning that into the delay itself. So that's really cool. Setting that up with expression has a lot of possibilities. Another cool thing about this pedal is you can set it up for latching or momentary, and I can see a lot of possibilities with this pedal, especially the weirder sounds in momentary. But let's stick with the 800 time frame. in the middle. So that should be about 400 milliseconds by my math. And I want to go into some default settings first, but let's talk about this shift. So there's 3 shift modes on this. There's a transpose, which is essentially a semitone, 12 semitones up, 12 semitone down, pitch shifting, and that's what this mode is. So there's 2 things to keep in mind with this. It's shifting up semitones. There. When it's at noon, which is a little hard to find, I wish it notched into place. Obviously there's no pitch shifting, but you just heard it pitch shifting, and it's shifting up more with each repeat. And you can do that in forward mode, or you can set it with a reverse delay, which sounds kind of cool. It sounds a little sci-fi to me. So now we have one more mode on the pedal itself. It's at standard forward delay, but it only shifts up during that first repeat. So if you don't want it to go up into oblivion, and personally, I'm not a fan of that. I like sending it up an octave instead. It still gives you some of that pitch shifting, some of that effect, without it becoming an overwhelming thing or like running away, which is something that I worry about with pitch delays. I've played a bunch of pitch shifting delays, and it's just not my favorite effect in the world. But it's fine, because it doesn't have to be. However, with that momentary latching, I can see myself actually working that into a song for the first time ever. But if we make that delay time faster, drop the blend a little bit. What if we set the time to 0? There's so little latency that you can do chordal things with this. So if we go to maybe it's that setting, let's see what it sounds like. Now I want to try find middle again. There it is. And let's go to the next mode, and this is called detune. There's something almost chorusy about that. I would turn down the repeats maybe so it doesn't go quite as far. And if we speed up the delay time even more, how does that sound? I like the way that sounds. Something almost vibrato-y about that. Let's get the speed back where it was and try it on just the one repeat. I like that a lot. Nice. Now it almost feels like a lo-fi pedal. All right, and if we send that all the way down. or all the way up. Sorry, just seeing where that took me. Let's make it subtle again and try that in reverse. Ooh. Fewer repeats, faster time. That doesn't even sound like a delay. That just sounds like a really nice modulation pedal. And last but not least, the next mode is a pitch. The next mode is phasing / frequency shifting. Let me make sure I got that right. I'm pretty confident on that answer. Yes, phase / frequency shift. So let's hear how that sounds. Versus. And with it on. I really like detune and phase. Just maybe like 2 o'clock to, let's say that's 10 o'clock. I'm a big fan of the subtler sounds on this pedal, but I love that it can do some wild stuff. Let's see how it sounds when we make that really fast. Nice. It's like a phasery vibrato kind of sound to my ear. Yeah, that's not like a delay at all. And it still does that fun trick. Okay, back to the middle. I'm going to turn the phase, I'm going to turn the shift off for a second. And now let's talk about the modulation. There are a lot of waveforms for the modulation. Let's get the rate up, and I'm going to turn the depth up just so you can hear it, but I'm not a huge fan of high depth necessarily. So that is the first mode. It is a sine wave. We click it again to go triangle. Consult your manual for the exact waveforms. And there's a rising. I'm not always a big fan of the rising and falling, but I do kind of like them on this. I like that it's so independent of the repeats, the speed. And this should be square. Again, not my favorite. And then this is a like random square. Steps, I think. This is just a random triangle, I think. Which I like this one a lot. But this is where I really like another mode of this pedal. So far I like how super duper like how the delay time works. Instead of going woo and whoop, it's like stepped. I really like the detune and the phase shifting in moderation. They get kind of chorusy, especially. I really loved those sounds, and I love this envelope control of the modulation, because when you think about envelope control, normally you're thinking about like an envelope filter, or I've played envelope tremolos. This is the first modulation, envelope controlled modulation outside of a tremolo I've seen. There's also a reverse envelope, which is neat. Let me turn up the depth so you can really hear it. So earlier, I started this demo in a ping pong setting, and then I kind of squished it back to the middle. Nearly every parameter on this pedal via alt controls, you can control how the stereo interacts. And that means things can converge and separate in really unique ways. Ways I haven't dug into very much yet, because I'm, one, scared, and two, it's actually kind of hard to do it when you're demoing because you're holding the guitar, you're using both hands, it's a whole thing. But let's play with some of these alt controls. So one is, from my understanding, you can send all the delay to one side and have the dry on the other, which is kind of like a wet dry thing. So it's supposed to be this, and you can see the LEDs change. So let's see if this works. Yeah. I sent it all the way to the left, and I'm hearing it in my right ear. So, whoops. But, whoops. It worked. So I'm going to center that again. Or you can do any, I'm going to go to the above camera. You can do anything in the middle. I'm just going to try to pan it directly to center. Per the instructions, you can control the modulation destination. So does that going to affect the level, the shift, or the delay? I'd have that on the delay. Maybe if we have time, I'll get to that. But you can also blend as the left-right balance. Tone is the feedback. That's interesting. Turning clockwise, adjust delay from dark to full frequency, and then emphasizes attack at maximum setting. Interesting. Let's look at that. Kind of sounds like a bandpass filter. I'm actually gonna turn off that modulation for now. I really like that. I think I'm going to keep it like that, actually. But let's go back to the ping pong, and this I remember. This mode right here, that middle toggle, if you send it all the way to the right, that's ping pong. I want that twice as fast. It's so much. Oh, went too far. That's pretty dreamy. Yes, you can hear that on that reverse envelope where it gets faster. Ooh, what is happening there? I love that. The modulation getting faster? I'll tell you what, I am still terrified of this pedal, but I feel that waning a bit because I really love that sound so much. I'm going to look up how to set a preset. Hold the preset button for 2 seconds. 1, 2. To store the current, oh, was I supposed to go to a bank? Yes, okay, so that's my preset now. Thank you so much to everyone out there for checking this out. Thank you to Sweetwater and Red Panda. Sweetwater sent me this demo to check out. I was very afraid of it. I'm glad that I finally got something together with it. I'm really proud of how this all has turned out. So thank you so much. Sweetwater is just a wonderful company. I can attest to not being an employee, but having been to Sweetwater a few times and seeing people who work there and talking to them, it just seems like such a wonderful place. They seem to really care about what they do and about music. I think they have the best customer service in the industry. They have probably the best selection from one place in the industry. And it's always been a pleasure every time I get something from them. If you like this channel, please consider supporting us on Patreon. We have a Patreon at patreon.com/getoffset Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you get access to our exclusive Discord server, which is one of my favorite places on the internet. We recently got some new faces over there, so join them. We also have merch at getoffsetpodcast.com/shop. And oh, did I forget to mention Sweetwater? We have an affiliate link in the video description. Every time you use that link to buy something, the channel gets a small portion of that sale shared with us. So it's a great way to support the channel doing things you were probably going to do anyways. What else? Man, I always feel like I'm missing something. I missed your compliment. You look lovely today. You are radiant as always, but today there's just something special. Well, to everybody out there, thanks for watching. Thanks for understanding. Until next time, my name is Emily. Goodbye.